Hi guys!
Hi!
Welcome to the first episode of our podcast.
This has been in the making for a good year, I'd say right now.
Yeah, or more even. I think when we met, we were like, we should do a podcast.
Yeah, and only just now we've been, getting into the works because we've been busy.
Because thank you to that girl at the event the other day who said, if you do a podcast, I'll listen. Here we are.
We're here. I don't know who you are, but thank you.
I forgot to show you this.
Wow. Wow, this is what friendship is.
Yeah.
So, this podcast, we are going to be talking about friendship. If I look like I'm leaning into her,
She is.
it's just because I'm on the edge
She is,
of a
and I can
ledge.
feel it. I'm on the edge of a ledge.
Friendship, we thought this is a really important topic, and why not talk about it?
Yeah, so I see a lot of videos and a lot of people like saying at uni, how do you make good friends? Not even how do you make Muslim friends, because I don't
Just
think
good.
good friends need to be Muslim. Exactly, just good friends. How do I find people with the same values, morals as me? So we're going to tell you two things: what we look for in friendships, and two, how we went about making them and how you could go about making them. That's three things.
Just a disclaimer, we've been through our fair share of friendships,
Yeah.
good and bad. And, this isn't to say that, we're so amazing, we know everything. We don't, but if it helps one person, that's all right.
Exactly. And this is a friendship that has, after this video we'll get the worst case scenario.
God forbid if anything happens.
Guys, please don't
If
jinx
anything
it.
happens, God forbid.
But this is the friendship that has actually lasted throughout that.
Alhamdulillah,
Not to say we
yeah.
don't have other friends,
we do,
that's fine, but it's different. This is the kind of friendship that will go for a long time, or for life really. So let's start. I think it's a good idea, we've mentioned this in like another video, I think it's a good idea to say that we didn't really like each other that much.
Let me start from the start. Okay, so we both got accepted to do foundation year medicine. Anyway, so this thing here messaged me on Facebook out of the blue, and I was like, who is this weirdo? That was
I can't
my
believe I did
first
that.
thought.
I can't
She just
believe I did
messaged me, and I was like, who is this weirdo? And she's like, do you want to be added to a chat? I was like, you know what, go on then. So then we all got added to a foundation year chat. We're all, boys and that, but we weren't. Sorry, friends. Friends.
I was really
Friends.
confused for a second. I was like,
You have to explain things.
We were boys, and then we weren't.
Friends.
Okay.
Like, we all knew each other, we all spoke to each other. Anyways, fast forward to the first day of foundation year. It was COVID, wasn't it?
It was.
I lived right on campus, right opposite the building, so I was like, you know what, guys, me being me, the person who doesn't like people, well, I do, but I'm quite antisocial.
You were
I like
social in the start.
I like my own space.
Yeah, she was really social in the start, and then it just went downhill.
Anyways, so I'm like, you know what, guys, come to mine, we'll meet at mine, whatever. So yeah, this and a load of other people turned up outside my yard. I don't remember after that.
I remember that. Oh my god, that was so long ago.
That was 4 years.
I remember that.
That was 4 years ago. Anyway, so she lived with her. She still
I
does.
still live with my mum.
She lives with her mum over. Maybe I shouldn't tell you that. Anyway, she lives quite far.
A bit far from uni.
Yeah.
Not like central. And also, oh yes, I remember now. It was COVID, and I didn't want to expose her. Like, this was early COVID. I didn't want to go out too much and expose her to COVID. Everything was online, so I was happy with it being online because I could be at home. It was like pretty much like back home. But then these guys met up a lot.
We're together all the time, like.
Which makes sense because you're not living at home. So
Yeah,
you're
we all
never
lived.
lonely.
We all lived literally like opposite each other, so we were all friends, and because our year was so small, everyone like just knew everyone. We were all like,
Yeah, it was only like 30 people, so we all did get to know each other.
Yeah.
I had other friends at that time. Shout out to Saida.
Hi,
miss
Saida.
you.
We
miss
actually
you
miss
so
you so
much. Who I preferred seeing, to be honest, over you.
Yeah, I get that.
But
I don't like her at that point either.
eventually what happened is, as we just kept going out, this is going to bring me to my number one thing that you should look for in a friend, and that is how accommodating they are to your values. I think in the start we might have aligned on our values, we might have not. Like, we weren't too sure.
We didn't really
know.
much.
We didn't talk about anything like that.
We would go to our own separate, like, you know, groups.
Exactly.
So we'd all talk, but I would go over there.
Yeah, and I'd
she'd
be
go
elsewhere.
there.
We were not close at all, I would say, to be honest. But always, somehow, we ended up gravitating to it just being us. Remember, we talked about some very personal things quite early on.
We were in a group together for some poster thing. It was me, her, and basically I didn't know anyone. I did know people, but I was like, you know what, Iman, let's be together.
Yeah.
Because we were sat together. There was like a bunch of us when we were
when the poster stuff came out. So she just she nudged me and she was like, let's just do it together.
Yeah.
And then I got a message from the other person. We were friends, and he said, let's do it together. And I was like, I'm with Malika, so the three of us can just make a group. And so basically it ended up being it. That was good as well. We worked well eventually. That's a different story. But it worked well eventually. That is how we then started meeting up alone. And like I said, I just felt like throughout. So for example, my birthday is in October, really close to when you start in September, because it's early October. Probably had been like 2 weeks since we started. Just about 2 weeks. And she was like, I want to throw her a birthday party, which I think,
to be fair, I gotta give credit where it's due. It wasn't just me.
It was everyone's idea.
It was everyone.
Which was very sweet.
Like, let's do a party.
And I still appreciate them for that. But during that, the accommodating, I feel like, came from Malika a lot, in that she would always pick a time where she knew I would be comfortable going out, and B, she would know that if we're doing something for someone else, we threw another birthday party and we all did it early in the morning, not even early in the morning, during the day, like 2 p.m, so that it could finish early and so that I could get home on time, because those are my values. I don't like being out past a certain time. I don't like going to certain places. You never pushed me to come to them like other people may have, and you never she changed her plans basically to fit. That was a big green flag. I was like, that's really, no one really does that.
But the thing is, my thing is, if you're friends with somebody, you can't impose your views on them. Like, no matter how stubborn you are, you cannot impose your views on somebody else. You can't be right all the time, first of all, and you can't impose your views on someone else. Like, if she doesn't want to go out past this time, halas, just do it earlier.
And it goes both ways. So like, I wouldn't be upset if she went out past that time, because that's nothing to do with me. Like, you're going out, we'll come to that in a minute. It's not that you shouldn't advise your friends.
You should
later, but you're right, you can't impose. I can't be like, I'm not going to talk to you because you went out past 7 o'clock.
You have your own morals, you have your own whatever you call it, but
as long as you knew. She never invited me. This might sound weird to people. They might be like, why are you friends with her if she never invited you? I preferred that because it released the pressure of, we're going out at 7 to do this. Come. No, you should come. No, come. No, please come. I prefer that.
I'm going.
Or
either way. I'm going either way. Are you gonna let me out alone? That's the other thing. I'll come back to.
It's blackmail that.
We'll come back to that. No, but anyways.
So that was our number one thing, I think, both of us.
Oh yeah, one thing I'll say is that peer pressure is real. Like, people, you might not see it, but people are like, we're going, come. You know what? It's okay, come. Honestly, stick to what you believe in. Like, I know it's hard. Trust me, I've been there. Like, we've been there.
We've both been there. I'm not going to speak about this because honestly, you said to me initially, but also you said to me initially, you were like, your mum, it makes it easier. And I would be like, no, if I was alone, I'd probably do the same thing. Maybe not.
No.
Maybe I wouldn't. I think she has made it easier. So I don't think I'm allowed to sit here and be like, don't fall under peer pressure, because I have her. She makes it easier. I don't know how hard it is.
One thing I'll say, it is really hard, especially moving out for the first time. You're 18, you have no family around you, you're in a new city, the only thing you have is friends. Friends. You make your friends, you're like, okay, you know what, I have to hang out with them, otherwise I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna be lonely. Like, coming from such a big family,
it's scary. No one wants to be lonely. Like, being lonely is not the answer. You can be alone and comfortable in your own presence. That's different. But you need to know that there are people out there when you need them that you can go and see. We're alone a lot in each other's company. We're also alone a lot not in each other's company. So that was just the number one thing. Like, the values thing. If they don't align, be accommodating. Don't impose. And I think you guys should start looking for that in your friends. I don't know what people look for. Like, is it looks? Is it how fun they are?
Honestly,
Is
I
it
don't think
vibes?
Do people actually look?
Do
though?
people
that's the
do
thing.
these things? Do you vet your friends? Is what I'm trying to say. I know it sounds extreme.
When I make friends, I don't know.
I don't immediately.
If they're nice.
I don't immediately, but then you get a vibe.
Yeah.
And you're like, the red flags start showing, and you're like, has this person done something that is questionable?
That is just Allah trying to remove you from a situation. That's another thing we'll come back to.
I think the second thing is the values thing, that you, as we're saying, they don't have to be like this, but they can't be like this either. They have to be somewhere similar. It's like getting married, honestly, because you're with that person a lot. You're with those people a lot, and they influence you a lot. So what they do, if they're going somewhere, if they're going to the club, you're going to go with them. If they're going to mosque, you'll go with them.
Even if you think you're not,
you will.
You will. It's just no way around it. Like, if you're with somebody for a long period of time, like now, we've been with each other for so long that we're actually like the same person.
Yeah, but very different.
Very different.
Very similar, but very different.
Our views are very different. We'll come back to that as well.
But this is a really
also,
good example of your values have to be like this, but
you
you
have to
can
be
be
steadfast
different
on your values.
Exactly.
You can't be pushed around. Like,
no.
I mean, me myself, I'm easily, influenced. So one thing I'd say is that you got to stick to what you believe in, and you got to know that, you know what, your parents might not be here, but Allah is, and Allah is always watching you. And I get what you mean. Like, with her mum is honestly a godsend. Like, living with your mum
is hands down is easier.
I mean, it's hard in its own ways, but 1,000,000% it makes it easier.
It does. It makes the responsibility, because I actually have bigger things to think about.
Yeah.
And it also makes it physically easier, where I know that I'm going home to someone who is waiting for me, who knows where I am, who knows what time I'm going to come home. I don't have the no one's around, I'll disappear, because it's very easy to disappear and do whatever and ruin yourself in the process. Like, there's no harm in having fun. How much fun do we have?
We
on the daily
are crazy.
We have a lot of fun on the daily,
but
honestly.
We also have our limits.
Yeah, but we wouldn't do certain things that we feel compromises our values, and we realised that when we talked about it, and realised that we're actually very similar in that.
But we are very different, but once you talk about things, you kind of get to know, you kind of like gravitate towards each other.
Yeah, exactly.
You get a vibe. One thing I would say, that your mum makes my life easier. This is so makes my life easier too, because when she goes home, not easier, but in a sense, like, I have that responsibility too. So like, we've got a set time, like every day we're like, you know what, past this time, this is prayer time, past this time we're going home, goodbye, you go to your mum, I'll either come or I'll go to my room and do whatever.
Exactly. That's the other thing, that with ease, that you can come over.
Yeah,
that also helps, because if we're going home to my mum, what's the most questionable thing that we're going to do?
It's family, isn't it? I don't like
it's
you,
true.
but
This is getting deep.
I don't like you,
away.
I don't like you, but
it's family. It is. That's
it
the other thing. I think number 3, search for people that remind you of family. Like, being with them is like, okay, this is family, because I genuinely consider
100%.
this family.
Yeah, like, this is my sister. Like, I've never had. I don't have an older sister. So I was like, you know what? Is this what it's like to have one? Like, even your sisters. Like, shout out to all of them. They're so lovely, mashallah.
Yeah,
like,
they have actually been sisters to both of us.
They've been sisters
a lot
to both
of the time.
us. Like, the other day, Annie came over and we had like such a long, deep chat.
She gave you a lecture.
She gave me a lecture.
I had been trying for months, guys. The same lecture for months.
But it's different coming from you, and it's different coming from your older sister.
Yeah, and it actually changed her.
It changed me. Like, honestly, I was like, you know what? She's been through stuff. Like, she knows what she's doing. But it's that sense of family, like that comfortableness that I can talk to you, I can talk to your mum, I can talk to your sisters, and know that they're doing this out of the goodness of their own heart, because they genuinely, like, I consider them family, and they consider me family.
They really like you. She's made it to the family group chat like 10 times, guys. I think one tip on how do you find that friend that has the same values as you is look in the right place. Like, if you want the friend that goes to ISOC, go to ISOC. If you want the friend that goes and plays a sport, go play that sport and find them in that particular society or club.
You can go to the club and you can, like, you can be at the mosque the very next day. Good for you. Like, we're not people to judge, but
yeah,
for us, it's not the fact like I'm not going to go all the way to the club, look for a friend, be like, do you go to the mosque, do you pray, do you
Yeah, that's silly.
That's just, I'm sorry, but that's just stupid. Like, if you want like a proper friend, a good friend, they don't even have to be at the mosque. They don't have to even be Muslim. So many people I could
there are
list
so many
right now.
yeah, I could actually sit here and list, but these girls, okay, like the level of respect they have when they come over, how wonderful they are, how accommodating
The
they
amount
are.
of respect they have for us and our religion as
Yes,
well. Like, they're
never
not
have we
Muslim.
ever gone drinking
No.
with these girls.
They've never invited us.
No.
The amount of respect
Yeah.
they have for us.
Honestly, you know, sometimes we go out with them and they're like, is this place halal? And I'm
they
thinking,
go out of their way to find halal places.
you know, we brought you here,
Yeah.
so you don't even have to ask because I'm eating it. But they ask just in case maybe we've
Yeah.
forgotten or we're not
and it's
going to the halal
things
place.
like that.
Yeah, one of the girls I met in the call center, I mentioned to her once that we were, I wanted to pray in between and I hadn't taken prayer breaks. And she actually reminded me every single day from there on out and said, have you taken your prayer break?
That
Like, you should take your prayer
is
break.
amazing.
And she was happy to sit there and take calls while I took my prayer break. But I was trying to be accommodating and not take it because I didn't want everyone to take that load of me not being online. But she reminded me to take my prayer breaks. And that is the kind of thing you don't have to be Muslim to do. A lot of people who are Muslim don't.
Yeah,
You just have to-
respectful,
exactly,
a good person.
Those are the things that I, like you're saying, do you look for things? Yes, I do. Those are the things I look for. If someone has done something like that, I immediately think this person is a good person. I trust them. They're a good friend.
So that's the other thing. You don't need to have all Muslim friends. Like, you know what? It's nice to have Muslim friends, talk about your deen, whatever, but there are good people out there who aren't Muslim.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
don't just stick to, you know, like one
Don't be
person.
cliquey.
Yeah.
I hate, oh my God. I hate like cliques. Why do people group up? I feel like we give the impression that we do this,
we actually
but we don't. We try not to. And we really do try not to.
Yeah.
I'm
just
group
very
up.
antisocial. She's just very social, so it makes it seem like that. 'cause
Yeah,
I
it
track
makes
her.
it seem
Yeah.
like that because she's like, let's just stand here and not. And I completely get that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you're anxious, you're anxious. So she's like, let's just stand here and let's just talk. And then sometimes I'll go out of my way to go talk to people.
Sometimes I will too.
Sometimes
like,
you will go
yeah.
out of your way. She's introduced me to a couple of people, but when we're alone, it might feel like that. No, people make these groups and don't come out of them.
It's like you have to be there and you cannot
Yeah.
talk to anyone else, and you have to be such a right something to other people.
Yeah, honestly, and they will gossip. You will go say hi to them, and they will be like, "Hi,
And
it's
then
so nice to see you." Blah blah
Straight
blah.
behind your back,
As
they
soon
are
as you
chatting
leave,
about
they are
you.
talking about you. That kind of thing, I hate, and
It's
that
not
kind of thing
right.
you need to look out for. We met a girl yesterday.
Beautiful
Shout out.
person.
Honestly, lovely person.
Met her for the first time.
And one
Fun
thing I
fact,
actually
funny
took away.
story.
Go on.
We were going, and Iman was like,
Oh yeah.
I think she's in our year. She's sitting alone, let's go talk. I was like, Iman, I don't think she is. Leave it. I was like, you know what, Iman? We've got a lecture, let's go. Iman ran. And I was like,
I was
you
like,
know
no, I'm
what?
doing it.
She's like, I'm doing it. My anxiety, I was like, you know what, Iman, leave it, it's okay. Iman ran, and you know what? Alhamdulillah, because
She's a lovely person, guys.
I've met her, one day? Not even.
Yeah, not even. We met her for like
I love her.
hours.
She's
a really lovely
amazing.
person. But the one thing that made us think, okay, this is a good friend, is the fact that she was like, I don't like it when people gossip. She literally said to us, if there's someone you think I shouldn't be talking to, just pull me away, but don't tell me to
tell
gossip.
me.
And I love that,
That
because
is
if
what I
someone's
aspire to be.
gossiping, they're going to do that about you.
A
when you
million
leave.
percent. But the thing is, that is like stuff like that are just such green flags you need to look out
Yeah.
for.
So that's a
Yeah.
couple of things actually. People that don't gossip, people that are accommodating, people that your values and beliefs align with, because otherwise you're either not going to see each other, you're going to argue all the time, or one of you is going to influence the other. You're not going to be happy in that friendship.
1,000,000%. You know, with things like that, you do get easily influenced, and it leads to either one of you changing, and I'm not gonna lie, it's more likely for the worse.
Yeah, because it's easier.
It's easier.
You know,
But
those
thing
people
is,
are very dear to you as well.
and those people are really good people at heart, but there comes a point where Allah says, if I've let go of the rope, there's nothing you can
nothing
do.
pulling them back. Exactly.
There's nothing pulling them back.
You need to not give up, but you need to distance yourself.
Yeah, for
so
your
that
own
it doesn't
mental
affect
health,
your
for
own.
for your own deen, that's another thing I'd say. If you see yourself falling back into whatever it is, distance yourself. The scholars say if you can be friends with somebody who is, I wouldn't say bad, but somebody who wasn't, you know, at the right level, at your level of deen, if you could be friends with them without it ruining your deen, be friends with them and try and bring them to deen. But if you can't, then distance yourself.
Because your friends are who you are. It's like the perfume shop analogy in the hadith. If you go into like a coal mine, you'll be covered in coal. You come out covered in coal. If you walk into a perfume shop, you'll come out smelling nice. And that is, you might not be spraying it, you might not be dealing with the coal,
but it rubs off.
It rubs off on you. So you are who your friends are. People will look at your friends and know who you are. You don't judge people for what they do or who they are. You just make the right friends. You distance yourself from people you feel are affecting you, because not everyone is strong enough. And you just be kind.
Also,
just be kind.
It's in human nature to judge. Like, we all do it, whether it's conscious or unconscious. You just have to take the steps to better yourself. You just realised that we didn't finish the friendship story.
We were friends, and I was still wary because I was like, I think she's lovely, but I didn't agree with a lot of the things. I think my like biggest thing for who to be friends with, because of your friends, but also I think your biggest thing for how do I know this is the right friend, if they are kind, genuinely selfless. The reason I stuck with Mal through thick and thin, and through all the things I disagreed with, and through all the things I was like, I'm not sure about this, is this a bit red flaggy, was because of her genuine heart. Like, a lot of people are nice, but not in a selfless way. In a way where she would be like, oh, okay, let me get you a cab home because I invited you out. Or in a way where we would go out and we would just pay for each other's food. Or where it was more comfortable to talk about things, you know, because I didn't feel judged.
The thing is, with Iman, it's the exact same thing. Like, she genuinely, mashallah, she's got a selfless heart. Like, you would go for the... One thing about Iman is that she's the exact same. Like, she is very selfless. And I think that's another thing that made me want to, you know, be friends with her, because I think I kind of saw myself in her, and I think you did too.
Yes, 100%. 100%. That,
I think
I was like, I would have done that, you know, and it was that's why I stuck with it. And actually, we're both better people now. Like, both of them. I'm not perfect.
Nobody's ever perfect.
I can be a very difficult friend.
To be fair, so can I though.
We both can. We both actually do get a bit moody and a bit like,
but then we also know that, you know,
she will stick with it.
Yeah.
Just be there for your friends. Also, don't put up with toxic
that's
behavior.
Don't be mean to other people when it's not needed. Like, if you're angry, like, I say this for myself because we both get angry really, really easily. Like, in public, she gets angry really easily, whereas I can hold myself. But when I'm out of the way, like, our anger issues are at the roof. But it doesn't mean that you have to take your anger out on someone else. And we're still working on this because it is hard. But
it takes time.
But don't be angry at other people, because it's not their fault that you're in a situation. Allah put you in that situation for a reason. And you've got to say alhamdulillah and move on.
That's the thing. If your friends are with you for vibes, for good time,
to use you, like, I'm sorry,
they're not friends. Your friends are people that stick with you after the good time, in the rough times, in the annoying, depressing times,
the sad times. Like, we have been through so much together, like, alhamdulillah. But through thick and thin, she's actually been there for me.
Yeah, likewise.
Your mum has been there for me.
It's that's the kind of thing you need to look for, genuinely. And people will be like, how are you guys, because they see us and they're like, how are you guys like this? Like, this is a really good friendship. It's that. It's just sticking with each other. Yeah, please. It's just being patient and saying, I genuinely really like this person. I like the time we spent together, and they're not always like this. They're not a toxic, horrible person. They are selfless. You know, the day I had my MRI, this one stayed up all night stressing. I actually fell asleep because I was stressing weeks before. I was exhausted, so I slept through that night. This one stayed up all night stressing, same as my mum. Her and my mum were up, and we had to leave at 5 a.m. because it was so early in the morning, and she was there early.
Same thing for my MRI.
Yeah, I was stressed.
I was
so
like, you know
stressed.
what, me being me, I'm like, you know what, Allah gave it to me, I'm happy with whatever, whether I have cancer, whether it's nothing, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the story. So where were we?
Where were we? Oh yeah, we were talking about how we got closer because you would always like do things. We did things for each other, and that made us closer. Our values are what? Family, being kind,
Respectful.
Islam, trying to get closer to God, have a good relationship, be respectful, do the right thing. Anything your parents, being a good person. I truly have this belief that if my mum were to see me doing something and not like it, she's right and I probably shouldn't be doing it. So if I can't tell her that I am doing something, she calls me and she says, where are you? And I cannot tell her without being embarrassed, I should not be there.
The thing is, also strive to be in the path of Allah. That is a main thing.
Yep.
That is your main goal in life. That should be your purpose in life, to strive to be in the way of Allah. If that's not,
yeah. And these things help you. These things really help you.
Yeah, so we started becoming friends. I started wearing the hijab. Once again though, that also depends on your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think enough said.
Enough said.
Enough said. I still remember, you might not remember this, but I still remember that we went to a lecture once very early in foundation year, and I was in my hijab and I went to Malacca's first. That was COVID, so we only had one opportunity to dress up and look nice, and that was one practical in like the whole year. So we were all like, what are you gonna wear, what are you gonna wear? And I was wearing whatever, and it came to her house,
and by that time me and Shang were really close friends, and me and Iman were really close.
Shang and her actually looked at me and they were like, oh my god, the hijab looks really nice. She said that, and I was like, that's really nice. And she went, I have hijabs, let's put hijabs on.
So we saw Iman and we let Iman put our hijab on.
And so all three of us
came out in hijabs, and
it was so nice.
It was
a monumental moment for me because I struggle, like I get insecure about it, and for me that was a moment where I was like, wow. And you can do that either way. You could be the friend that turns up in the mini skirt and then everyone's like, oh, that looks so nice, let's change into it. And I'm coming from a religious perspective here, so like religion wise, that's not the person you want to be, trust me on that one.
So we're starting this again because somebody can't hold their tongue. But
that's the other thing. Can I quickly just add, you need someone on your same wavelength of jokes. And I mean this in a like everything. Like we make some really, 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 really rubbish jokes and some really questionable jokes as well that maybe other people would report us for. But when you send them to me and I send them to you,
I will laugh
it's okay. We just laugh. Like it's just funny. So there's no one else I would make these jokes with.
So yeah, we would do things for each other. We'd talk, like that hijab thing is because of Iman. Like we put it on. Maybe it was for that one day, but we looked at her and we were like, you know what?
That was enough.
Basically, things happened. I realised that I don't fit in with my friends. Like they're too much for me. Like I'm different, they're different. So then I started, moving back. So did my other friends. So we just, like kind of, we were together. It was still COVID. Iman was still at home, so we got closer. So we became friends. Different views. That's another
You just look at my shoes and realise.
Yeah, I looked at her shoes. I have something like that, but nicer.
Yeah, but mine are nicer. We have very different fashion sense, guys.
Yeah.
Very different.
I like
man. Really unique shoes. I'm really not, but I like
really
unique.
She's like very, 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 very girly.
I was so scared of the word that's going to come out of the end. But yeah, we're very different.
I'm a road man. Like maybe less now, but I'm still road man at heart. I'm not, but I am.
She is.
I'm not, but I am. I'm not. Anyways, that's another thing. You can find friends who have different views to you as long as they have the same morals. Like her, she has many different views. She's got different views. I've got different views. But we still get along.
Yeah, when I look out my window, I see the river. And when she looks out her window, she sees the bins. Different views.
So I mean, there's one other thing about this friendship is that she annoys me so much. Like, I cannot explain how much my blood boils. We forgot another thing. your friends, if tell them things straight to their faces.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't beat around the bush. Why? Yeah, I was gonna say something. Don't beat around the bush. Like, if they've done something wrong,
Tell them.
maybe okay in public. Halas, pull them away.
Yeah, this
pull
is
them
the
away.
thing.
Whatever.
In public,
don't
in
belittle
public,
them.
always defend your friend. I'm sorry, I have 2 rules
Yeah.
with friendship. One, in public, if she says something dumb, she did something very embarrassing yesterday. I stuck with her.
It's not
and
embarrassing if I
defended
don't
her.
like
It
you.
was. And I will always, even if I feel like she's in the wrong in public, I will defend her. Like, I'm sorry, you come at her and she's done something wrong, I will know that she's in the wrong and defend her. In private later on, I
You
will be
have
like, you know,
to.
even though I defended you at that point,
It's not right.
it's not right, you need to go apologise, or you did the wrong thing.
1,000,000%. Like, if you're not friends if you
Yeah.
don't tell each other the truth.
Exactly.
No matter how much it hurts you, you're only a true friend until you help them become better. I could go out being so oblivious. She can go out being so oblivious. She can go out. She says, we both say very
Questionable things.
right. Let me give you an example. The other day, she said something that was very questionable. That everybody looked and they were like, "What is going on?"
The fact is, I don't even know which one she's talking about because it happens so much.
You know which one I'm talking about.
Oh.
At that moment in time, I think everyone was too shocked to say anything. But we went back. We were like, you know what, Iman? What did you just say? That is wrong.
To
What
these
do we
people
do?
that we've just met.
We don't even know them.
Don't even
What did
know
we do?
them.
We went back. We were like, you know what? It's wrong. The very next, whenever we saw them,
We actually sought them out
yeah,
to go and
right.
tell them.
To go and
no, genuinely, we were
apologise.
there. We were like, oh my god, is that the person that I
We were
embarrassed
like,
myself in front
please.
of? Let's go say sorry because I didn't
It
mean
was
it like
wrong.
that.
You didn't mean it. I don't think you knew what you were saying.
It just came out wrong.
And also, another thing, friends who encourage you on your deen, encourage you to be better, like us two, we have had plenty of conversations about this.
Yeah. And it's because she knows it's important to me. This could not even be religious, could be anything that's
Could be
important to you.
anything.
Religion is my thing. I'm like, I want to be close. I want to,
That's
I want to
also-
pray on time.
That is another
We
reason
then
why
do
we're
that.
really good friends, because we spoke about religion and we realised that, subhanAllah, like, we have the same views and it's something we're really, really, really passionate about.
And there's no going back from that. Once
No.
you've had the religion conversation and you realise that you gel on a spiritual level, there's
Relationships
no going back from
that start on Allah end with Allah. I'll say
Exactly.
that.
It's really good because Allah blesses that
Mm-hmm.
in a way where if you're trying to... I have seen friends that have been friends and it's gone horribly wrong, and then they have found friends that have pushed them towards the right thing, and that is going well for them. Us included, to be honest.
Honestly.
And that is just nice. Like that, the fact that we can say, all right, I need to pray, or have, oh my god, we need to pray at this time, this is what we're going to do. We
Thing
can
is,
plan our
yeah,
day.
We plan our day around the salah, but also I will shout at her and she will shout. Like yesterday, hijab. Her hijab was
Yeah,
really
my
annoying
hijab was
me.
really
It kept
slippery and it kept
off.
falling off.
What did I do? I didn't shout at her.
Just kept pulling
I
it.
just kept pulling it. Why? Because I want her to be the best she can. And she was
Yeah.
like, you know what? Thank you.
Exactly.
But she didn't realise.
Because you don't realise.
So guys, I'm not going to recap all the points because
No,
I've
I'm
forgotten
not
half
as
of
well,
them.
and I'm actually tired, and I'm sure you're fed up. But basically, let us know if you agree. I hope it was somewhat helpful or just interesting to hear us
Yeah,
talk.
well, had to crop out a lot of things,
I
but
did have to go, but that just shows every good friendship. If you can't sit there and film a video with your friend in which you say inappropriate things that shouldn't go on YouTube, then you're not actually friends. So I'm going to be doing all of that editing.
in conclusion, find a malaika.
Yeah, no, I can't lie. Find the malaika for
Right.
you.
Find the malaika for
Because-
your iman.
Oh, stop.
I meant your iman.
Yeah, I
iman.
know. It's oh.
Anyways, goodbye.
Find the person that you feel comfortable with.
And comment down below what you want to see,
Don't
what
do
us to
that.
talk about.
Only halal pictures.
Goodbye.
Feet pics I
Assalamu
charge.
alaikum.